Our new developments in Gaza were following a temporary ceasefire that may be in jeopardy. Israeli troops say that explosives were detonated near their positions in Gaza and that they came under fire. If confirmed, that would violate the conditions of the truce. The ceasefire had been extended for 2 days, with Hamas agreeing to release another 20 women and children in the next 48 hours. Joining us now, Dan Perry, former Middle East editor for the Associated Press. Anything you can add to this, Dan? Any confirmation on who detonated these devices?
We don't know. And of course, Hamas is going to claim that either it wasn't them or that they don't have complete control. And there's always potential for rogue units. And there are other terrorist groups in Gaza, and there are mafia families in Gaza and people who want to scuttle the ceasefire. So those lies might be true in this case. But look, there's such pressure in Israel to proceed with a hostage release, and the injuries to the soldiers were light. And everyone knows that when you're dealing with Hamas, hiccups are going to happen, and there's going to be all kinds of plausible deniability. They're going to go ahead.
So the ceasefire may be in jeopardy. What is the likelihood of that, and could it be extended beyond the 48 hours?
To a somewhat undignified degree for Israel, it's largely in the hands of Hamas. I think, yes, it easily could be under 48 hours, because that would bring us up to 6 days in total. And I think Israel has basically projected that it's willing to do at least 10 days. But the actual discussion here is about whether they wouldn't be willing to do even more at an even different rate card. Let's suppose that Hamas offered to release 2 more prisoners. Let's say they were, the 2 young children that everyone was talking about without their parents for 1 more day. Would Israel really say no? So the sense is that Hamas can maybe use their 200 remaining hostages to buy a lot of time still, and eventually to really up the ante on who they're asking for in return, making things difficult and complicated for Israel. Because in Israel, the discourse right now definitely is leaning towards prioritizing the release of the hostages over the goal of eradicating Hamas control in Gaza, which had originally been the main goal that the government was articulating.
Right. I mean, in terms of who holds the most leverage right now, clearly Hamas does in its ability to dictate how this hostage release goes. How does the IDF factor the idea in that Hamas will reorganize, regroup, rearm, be ready for the soldiers once this truce is over?
It was priced in. It was priced in, and there were reports of soldiers witnessing Hamas people, taking these actions, running around armed and rearming. And there's nothing they can do, because Israel will not violate the truce overtly itself, because it lives by a different standard. There's obviously the understanding that maybe a 5-day truce, maybe a 10-day truce can cost Israel more than those days in terms of a prolonging of the war on the other side. And there's a lot of questions here, because as Hamas rearms, they also rearm in southern Gaza. And the next phase of the war, should it really continue, will be in southern Gaza, where you now have 2 million people, half of whom are refugees, half of those in tents. It's been made clear to Israel, I believe, by the Biden administration that they can't create more of a refugee crisis. It'll be much more difficult to carry out the southern Gaza operation among all these civilians with the Hamas presence there not degraded. It could be very, very, very ugly. And remember, that could happen, the resumption of the war and of that second phase, after maybe more weeks have gone by. And the world has been impacted by, on the one hand, the devastation it witnesses in Gaza caused by Israel, and on the other, the dissipating of the memories of the massacre on October 7th. So Israel has a very difficult strategic situation, no doubt about it.
Yeah, changing by the minute. Dan Perry, as always, thank you for your perspective. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.